We use horseradish in our allergy relief tincture, and it's time to tincture more, so in this video, I'm going to share the many benefits of this popular root vegetable and show you how to preserve it. You probably are familiar with horseradish's kick. It's often used as a substitute for wasabi because it's less expensive than wasabi. But wasabi and horseradish are not the same plant. They're in the same family, but they're not the same. The botanical name of horseradish is Amaracea rusticana, and it's in the Brassicaceae family, which includes turnips and broccoli, cabbage, and mustard. It's a cold, hardy, perennial plant that's been cultivated for more than 2,000 years and has been used as medicine and as a condiment. The fresh roots are most often used, but the leaf has been used too. While you'll see dried and powdered preparations, I would stick to the fresh root because it loses its potency when it's dried. The energetics of horseradish are that it's hot and it's drying. Its taste is pungent, and pungent herbs are typically stimulating. They tend to promote digestion, increase circulation to the periphery, as well as appetite. They thin and remove mucus, they induce sweating, and they have germicidal properties, meaning that they kill parasites, bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms that cause infection and disease. Horseradish is a stimulant, strong diuretic, carminative, decongestant, expectorant, antiseptic, aperient, anti-inflammatory, spasmolytic, anticatarrhal, and rubefacient. Those are some of its properties. Some research also supports that it may be an anti-diabetic agent against type 2 diabetes, an antioxidant that protects cells against death by oxidative stress, and that it has the potential to combat antibiotic-resistant strains of staph. Some vitamins and minerals that horseradish contains include calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, riboflavin, vitamins A and C. Horseradish can be used for respiratory conditions like allergies, hay fever, congestion in the sinus and lungs, colds, influenzas, cough, sore throat, pneumonia, sinus infections, bronchitis, asthma. And it's also supportive for cough-like digestive concerns, like constipation due to sluggishness and congestion. It's not for ulcers. It's good for gout, gallbladder disorders, indigestion, jaundice, intestinal worms, and colic. It also helps to bring down fevers like the hot, fresh, grated infusion, and it reduces menstrual cramps, eases toothaches, expels the afterbirth, reduces rheumatic and sciatic pain, edema, kidney stones, and helps with bladder infections. You can find horseradish likely in your nearby grocery store, and again, it's best used fresh. The preparations are typically as a vinegar tincture or an alcohol tincture, an infusion less so, but you can again for fevers, a glycerite, and topically as a poultice on the chest to break up stuck phlegm, for pleurisy, or on arthritic joints. It will rapidly bring blood to the surface, cause redness and irritation, so be sure to put a gauze barrier between the plant material and your skin, and definitely avoid getting it into your eyes or on open wounds. I would suggest using a food processor like you'll see me do in a bit, and grate it into smaller pieces, and then really work quickly because the longer it's exposed to air, the more the volatile oils are being released, and you want to capture those. Also, heat destroys the volatile oil, so most preparations, again, are fresh and raw, though if you want to make a sauce, you can warm it up a bit and that would be fine. Some fun ways to consider adding horseradish to your diet include salad dressings, infused oils and butters, that would be really good, fire cider, and fermented, which you can then add to sandwiches and salads. Some of the precautions include it's best in small amounts, to not irritate the mucous membranes of the GI tract. Consuming large amounts can cause vomiting and diarrhea, and it can depress thyroid function. But you really have to using a lot in order for that to happen. And it's so hot that I don't even see how you can not stop before feeling uncomfortable. And again, topically, it will irritate the skin, might aggravate someone who's already pitta, hot and fiery, and it tends toward redness, dryness, and heated conditions. Those types of constitutions in people, you might want to stay away from using a lot of horseradish. Not for kids under 4 years old because it'll upset their tummies, and it's not for use during pregnancy. It's too stimulating, and too much can be abortifacient. So up next, I'm going to make a fresh vinegar tincture because this is the ingredient in our allergy relief tincture, and now you understand why. We use it as a catalyst and of course for all of those respiratory actions that it helps to alleviate. I'm also going to ferment some. So we're trying to eat 1/4 of a cup to 1/3 of a cup of fermented foods each day, and I want to add this to our salads. But again, not too much because remember, small amounts are best. All right, so we are ready. I have gloves on, I have goggles if I need it, and I have 2 big roots of horseradish, cutting board, food processor, a peeler, knife, and a spatula. And so the first step, and I'll use the easier one. The first step is to grate the horseradish. This is easy, good. And again, you wanna work quickly because the volatile oils, as soon as you start to disturb it, the volatile oils are being released, and that's what you wanna capture. Oh dear, my eyes. It's already starting, y'all. It's similar, you know, when onions make your eyes burn. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna cut it into some smaller chunks so that I can then put it into the food processor and let the food processor do the rest of the work. My eyes are starting to burn. Here we go. But I think it's actually the smell. Gonna need to take a minute to put a wet cloth on my eyes. I guess another piece of equipment that you should have handy is a wet cloth so that you can dab your eyes. So much for working quickly. Doing my best here. All right, this might have been a bad idea. I'm gonna get my jars out of the oven. They've been on a low temperature setting to be sanitized. Do y'all see my face? I am sweating my upper lip, sinuses way open, eyes red. Here's the proof. For your sinus remedy. Okay, so most of it's grated. Now I'm gonna add it quickly to some jars. Quickly going to add the horseradish to my jars. I want it packed, loosely packed, not too tight. And this first one, our recipe calls for a vinegar tincture. So I'm just gonna top it off with apple cider vinegar. Here we go. This will sit for 6 weeks, and then we are ready to strain and start adding to our allergy relief tincture. I'll label it, how much I used, and the date, and then it'll be ready for our tincture. I also want to pickle some, so I'm going to add the rest of this into a jar and then add a salt brine. So this is our little fermented jar, and this I'm using a 2% salt brine to ferment it. I'm adding a leaf, like it's a cabbage leaf, to help weight it down to keep all of the horseradish in the solution so that no oxygen gets into it. And then this just has to sit for 7 days. And then we're ready to add it to salads and to sandwiches. All right, y'all, so we have our fresh horseradish root tincture and apple cider vinegar, and we have our fermenting fresh horseradish. This will be ready in 7 days. This will be ready in 6 weeks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe.